Hi everyone, Stone Crypto here, bringing back to you some more rock-solid cryptocurrency content, as well as an update and review on DigiPulse. So I want to start off by announcing here to everybody that Stone Crypto has joined DigiPulse as its US Community Manager. So going forward, I'll be an admin in the Telegram chat group, as well as online in Discord and fielding questions on the website. I'll also be doing some US community and community growth projects outside of these as well. And I'll be going over a bit about my background as well. I spent about half of my career in the financial news and half of it in the digital advertising space. But I think knowing a bit about my background will help provide some insight about why I'm so excited about the DigiPulse service, as well as what I think I can bring to the team. And lastly, I'll be doing a review on DigiPulse. So to start off, how I learned about DigiPulse was from Cliff High's August and September report called the Collected Curious Crypto Peruski. And in this report that was released, I think maybe in July or August, it covered a lot of Eastern European and Russian companies, and DigiPulse is one of those companies. Strong teams, very solid concept that was not thought of yet, and a service that almost everyone involved in cryptocurrency will eventually need. And how the conversation started was Stone Crypto was a channel that was originally focused on post-ICO milestones, and what that means is just covering topics on companies that have successfully launched an ICO and focusing on their roadmap and clearing up any type of FUD around that roadmap. Because a lot of the roadmaps for these companies, such as the launching of alpha, beta, getting listed on exchanges, potential partnerships, and platform launch, a lot of this information isn't conveyed to the public in ways that the public would like it to be conveyed. Maybe it's a few days late, sometimes it's a bit early, and maybe it's a partnership that wasn't expected, or the community wanted a bigger partnership, or they were expecting a smaller partnership. FUD can come from anything, and that's kind of what I wanted to focus on originally, covering these post-ICO milestones to clear up any FUD that was out there in the market. But because of the fact that my viewership started with mostly my friends and family that did not know about crypto as much as I did, I realized that they didn't really understand what ICO was. So I've shifted my focus into more educational content from then on. But that's kind of how my interview with Norm and Dimitri and the DigiPulse team started off. It was supposed to be a post-ICO interview with them, and that we moved into discussions on what I could potentially do for the DigiPulse community, and that's kind of how the US Community Manager position came up. But if you're a big believer in the crypto economy and blockchain space, as I am, and if you're not, what I want to clarify is this crypto space is growing massively. It's grown significantly in the last year, and it's probably going to grow at an even larger pace in 2018 as well. Because it's no longer just the developers and the gamers, and then more recently, a lot of less educated financial speculators. You have a lot of really young people that have never been in the stock market before that are getting into crypto. There's going to be a lot of crypto education, and as the space grows, with us now moving on to passing the financial speculators, now moving into corporations and institutions that are building on the blockchain, that are trying to get their companies on the blockchain to take advantage of the faster, cheaper, more secure infrastructure. Smart contracts are cutting costs pretty much anywhere that you have costs. The crypto economy is only going to grow and grow at an astronomical pace. So there's going to be people that are going to need services like DigiPulse. And that's kind of what got me excited for this platform. Just for clarity reasons, I did invest into the DigiPulse ICO. I've been following DigiPulse since I learned about it from Cliff's report in in, I believe it was July. And this is not financial advice. A bit of background on myself. I'm 30 years old. I've worked 6 years in New York, 2 years outside of New York. I started out my work career as an analyst for about a year and a half, working at companies like Bloomberg. I analyzed, public corporate financial documents, SEC documents to publicly traded companies in Asia as well. And from there, from my analytical career, I moved into account management, managing about 100 different corporate accounts, building relationships with these accounts, meeting C-level executives, educating their team, making sure that the service that they were using for my company was valuable, and when it came to the end of the year, that they saw value in renewing that service again, if not potentially even growing it. In order to do that, you have to build strong relationships, make sure you have champions at every single one of these companies that cannot live without your service. So when that senior level person comes in to ask, hey, we're looking at renewing and getting rid of this service, who's using it? Who likes it? Who doesn't like it? Is there anyone even using it at all? That's why account management was also very important and helped me build my relationship management skills. And then lastly, I moved into sales, selling, fintech software, and eventually I moved into digital advertising as well, working at agencies and publishing firms, similar to USA Today. So that's a bit about my background. I also had a short stint in foreign currency sales as well. So the DigiPulse review, I'll start with the concept if you guys are unfamiliar with DigiPulse. DigiPulse is the first digital asset inheritance service that's built on the blockchain. And what that basically means, what type of service it provides, is if you were to have cryptocurrencies and all those private keys, if you were to ever lose it, you can set up inheritors on the DigiPulse service to receive your crypto or whatever digital assets, files, pictures, in case something were to ever happen to you. And it doesn't always have to be used in that aspect too. Protecting and remembering where you're putting all your private keys for every single wallet, your ledger or your web wallets or your desktop wallets, whatever it is, can be cumbersome at times, especially if the place that you're living in is not secure, or if you're moving often. You may lose your private keys, or something bad may happen to you. Maybe you'll get sick, or if you were to pass away and nobody knows where you placed your private keys except for yourself, then the crypto is pretty much lost forever. And that's where a service like DigiPulse can come in, where you set up the service to ensure that those you intend to inherit your crypto assets will inherit those crypto assets without ever sharing your private keys to a third party. DigiPulse, the service, never has access or has seen your private keys. The only people that have seen your private keys, if you use the service, will be yourself, and eventually those that you tend or wish to inherit your crypto assets. Why I'm so excited about DigiPulse, partly why I'm so excited about DigiPulse, is because of the market opportunity. This is a service that everybody in the crypto space will need. Everyone. And right now, everyone is only 400 billion. But when you have, let's say, we are also 800 billion at one point in January as well. But when you have all of these companies flooding to build on the blockchain, utilize platforms like Ethereum and Neo, and then on top of that, when they're building all these platforms or these new companies on Ethereum, Neo, potentially EOS, Cardano, then they're going to be hiring developers, and they're going to be interested in cryptocurrencies. They're going to have to learn about cryptocurrencies. The lack of supply of good developers in this space is astonishing. So you're going to see a huge wave of new people learning how to code and develop on the blockchain. They'll be getting involved in crypto, and then from there it will just spread outwards. So it's no longer, as I mentioned earlier, just the niche development community or the people that are very interested in sound money, gamers, and now financial speculators. You have these institutions and corporations that are just dumping billions and billions of dollars into expanding their businesses onto the blockchain. So eventually everybody that is affected by cryptocurrency will need to ensure that their cryptocurrency is secure, and if something were to happen to them, they have a will or a service like DigiPulse that can ensure that their private keys are passed along to the people that they intend for them to receive them. And DigiPulse has a significant advantage being the first mover in this space. So they were the first company to come up with the digital asset inheritance concept, and also having Cliff High's kind of recommendation being covered by one of his reports is also a great plus as well. Next, we have some of the types of partnerships that can be developed with DigiPulse, such as law firms, private wealth management firms, and corporate accounting firms. And why these are important also has to deal with my background as well. When in my previous experience of working as an account manager in sales, I built a lot of relationships with partners at law firms, with directors, managing directors at these private wealth management firms, as well as the corporate accounting firms such as PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, and EY. Met with many senior level executives at these firms, and these are companies that deal with a lot of people that have money, especially these private wealth managers, corporate law firms. Private wealth managers basically manage wealthy people's money, and right now a lot of that money is utilized in legacy traditional financial assets such as the stock market or real estate or bonds. But eventually, once the crypto economy grows, there's going to be a lot of people from the traditional markets that will want to move into the crypto markets. It's already happening right now. And you also have it happen on the vice versa end, where a lot of people in the crypto market are going to be, coming into a lot of this wealth, massive wealth, new wealth, that they will want to diversify and want people to manage those assets when they diversify into some of these more traditional financial assets such as the stock market or bonds. And private wealth managers will have that synergy with companies like DigiPulse. And that's where I feel like I can kind of strike up some potential partnerships or conversations and introductions. Same thing with law firms. Anything dealing with money, you're going to have law firms involved, as well as accounting firms. And you can see here the top 20 global law firms in 2017. White & Case, I know people there. Baker McKenzie, yup. Norton Rose, yup. Latham Watkins, yup. Mayer Brown, yes. And Goldman Sachs, yes. So a lot of these traditional companies that deal with people that have a lot of wealth are eventually going to need to adapt and move their services to accommodate blockchain type services. So that's another positive that I think I can bring to the team. Next, we have the token burning model, which I'll go over here. So about 1 million tokens were distributed during the ICO, the DigiPulse ICO. There's about 20 million total in supply, so the tokens that were not sold during the ICO, roughly 11.3 million, are frozen and will be released to the DigiPulse Foundation 6 months from when the ICO started. I believe it's roughly April 30th-ish, as that's when they're planning on burning these excess tokens. So DigiPulse Foundation polled the community, the DigiPulse community, to figure out which types of models would they like to go with, and the community ultimately decided on burning the tokens. And what that would do is ultimately cut the supply from 20 million all the way down to 5 million. So that's an incentive for those of you right now that don't have DigiPulse tokens to maybe acquire some before this token burning happens and is announced publicly. Well, it's already announced that it's going to happen, but once it actually happens, there's going to be a lot of buzz around it, because it will basically increase the value of every single remaining token that hasn't been burned. And if you guys are familiar with crypto, 5 million is a low supply. Bitcoin's already really low at 21 million. So just to let you know, this 5 million token supply is supposed to service a potentially trillion-dollar crypto economy. And lastly, we have the beta. So beta was supposed to be announced to be made live on January 31st, a couple days ago, but with all this recent gas wars going on, CryptoKitties clogging up the Ethereum network, and all these ICOs and people competing to making sure that they get in first by jacking up their gas and their GUI, has really made or caused some problems with the beta, which the team is trying to work out all these kinks. So beta is going to go live in a couple weeks. So when you add the beta up, that's supposed to be going live at the end of February, the token burning community is growing really well. First mover advantage, the market opportunity, all of that combined together really makes DigiPulse a really promising service and token. If you want to see DigiPulse right now, let's go to CoinMarketCap and look at where DigiPulse is in service. So yeah, we've had a bloodbath recently, but if you're familiar with and understand the benefits of blockchain technology and the fact that we are one of the early ones that are getting in now, you probably won't be too worried about these dips. I'm not, none of my friends are. We're all trying to buy on these dips. So this is DigiPulse right here. It's currently ranked about 500 on CoinMarketCap, so it's a really low ranking. Market cap is showing about 8 million, and the supply is wrong. It'll be updated once the token burning is announced. So this is the amount that's in circulation. So with the $8 million market cap, there's so much room for potential to grow, especially in an industry like digital asset inheritance, which I'm sure some of you watching right now probably have a certain amount of crypto that you're worried about losing. Well, if you're worried about losing that, you should check out DigiPulse and take a look at its current market cap supply compared to the potential. This 400 billion market cap that it's supposed to service as of now, and this market cap will only increase going forward. So that means that this market cap should increase with it significantly to match this. So that's it for Stone Crypto. If you guys like this particular episode, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow us for updates. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.